Hey, it's Dusti Martin with Platinum Living Realty, dropping in to give you your monthly market update for the month of March 2024. It is currently March 6th, so buckle up, hit the subscribe button, and let's go. All right, our active listings are up 19.9% over this time last year, but our sold listings are up 15.6% over this time last year, meaning our price per square foot is also up 5.2% over this time last year, currently sitting at a median square foot of about $406.52. That's actually a great year-over-year appreciation. I think that is indicative of some of the inflation in the housing market returning to a more normal appreciation level. Remember, normal appreciation is 2 to 4% in any given year, and so we had all these double digit years of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%. Now we've come back down. We had a little dip through the summer months last year, and now we're back into the positive territory. But luckily that positive territory is not crazy positive territory. It's what we would hope to aspire for, between that 2 to 4% every year. So that's good. Our months of supply is also up, but only by 3.8%. Basically, that's a difference between 3.7 months of supply and 3.84 months of supply. So it's still a seller's market. It's not a crazy one by any stretch of the imagination, but things are going to lean slightly in the seller's favor, and a lot of that is going to be determined on how much in their favor by price point. If you're wondering what you can expect if you're trying to buy in a certain price point, then you need to watch to the end where I cover that supply and demand and I break it all down. With all that said, 4 months or less is a seller's market. You are going to see gentle upward pressure at this point, and it won't be uncommon to see some bidding wars here and there. Now, our median days on market is down, which basically means more things are selling than last year. They're selling faster, they're selling for more money, and they're selling faster is a key term. So our median days on market is actually down over 23% over this time last year. Last year, we were looking at about 65 average days on market. Now we're looking at 50. So that's like a whole 2 weeks worth of days on market that are just gone now. So if you're looking to sell, expect things to sell a little bit faster and for a little bit more money, or right in line with the comps. So with that said, let's jump over to our months of supply by price point. And for a couple months here, we have noticed a certain price point where it was a buyer's market, but we couldn't really figure out why. What was the deal? So like I said, overall for the city of Scottsdale, we're at 3.84 months of supply, so just inside seller's market territory. Our $0 to $100,000 price point is still lightning hot. We had 2 listings. They sold last month. Nothing new came on the market. That left us with 0, meaning we're at a true 0 month supply of inventory in that price range. So if you're looking to buy in that price range, basically the minute you see it, you better buy it because it's not going to stick around very long. And if you don't, somebody else is going to, and there's probably going to be multiple offers, and you're going to see things just kind of really go crazy. Now, when we look at the $100,000 to $200,000 price range, you would think, just based on that budget, that it would be similar. However, we've had a little bit of a backup of inventory. And like I've said for the last couple months, this is usually co-ops that aren't financeable. And so therefore, it's a much smaller buyer pool. And so this month, I took the liberty of going and looking up what is the deal, which co-ops are they, and what's going on. And I did find primarily it was one specific community of co-ops that normally has 8 to 10 properties available. And, I called up the listing agent that tends to work this community the most, who's the dominant agent there. And we had a good discussion. And she basically said, when interest rates went up really high last year, there was just this big pause. And those sellers who didn't have to move, but they were kind of thinking maybe they might want to move, they just left their home priced at its current rate instead of reducing the price in order to get it to move, because those sellers didn't need to move. But what she said was something that I think everybody else should pay attention to. When those interest rates were higher, remember, these are not homes that are financeable as a co-op. You can only buy cash. But what it meant is that other people who would normally refinance another home and take money out of it in order to purchase this co-op weren't doing that anymore. So those cash buyers really just sat on the fence and they didn't do anything. And those sellers, they didn't need to move. They didn't need the cash. So they just sat there. And if you look at the trend over the last month or so, things have started to come back up and things are kind of coming back around now that things have calmed down. And those are starting to sell again. But basically, normally there would be 8 or 9 of these. And because of that slowdown in the availability of cash, the inventory basically doubled. So it pushed us into buyer's market territory. But since none of those sellers needed to sell, they just chose not to. So here we are in March. We're now looking at 7.33 months of supply. It's not technically a buyer's market, but it's very close to one, which would have been 8 months of supply. Last month and the month prior, it was definitely a buyer's market in the 8-month range. So that inventory, now that we're in our busy season, is starting to ease up and sell. And so therefore, I think we're not going to see those very long, simply because we're in the busiest part of our season. Now, when we look at the $200,000 to $300,000 price range, it's right back to normal. Strong seller's market at just over 3 months of inventory. Expect 1 or 2 multiple offer situations, especially in homes that are priced really well and marketed really well. Now, in the $300,000 to $500,000 price range, we're at 2.65 months of supply, which is an even stronger seller's market. You're going to see even more bidding wars and things like that, and more upward pressure on home prices. And then when we look at the $500,000 to $700,000 price range, we're at 2.48 months of supply. So it's like 8 or 10 weeks of inventory, which is almost nothing. So again, expect bidding wars. And if anything is even halfway decent, don't expect it to stick around very long at all. So then we're going to look at our $700,000 to $1 million price range, and that we're at 3.28 months of supply. So you're going to see gentle upward pressure, but keep in mind those homes in those price ranges are going to be in really, really desirable areas. So the ones that are priced really well and are right in the middle of where everybody wants to be and are marketed well, you probably still will see bidding wars, especially on homes that are fully updated and priced aggressively. Then we're going to look at the $1 to $3 million price range. And like I said, we were going to see kind of a big swing, and we've started to see that. We're at a 4.19 months of supply. This is about the same as what we had last year. Remember, I've been saying for a couple months now, we're starting to come back to a more normalized seasonal market. And that's kind of indicative of having, more repetitive numbers from year to year in terms of our months of supply and our inventory. So this is normal for this time of year. It's going to be really crazy between now and like June, and then it's going to dry up. So if you're thinking of selling, you should call me now. Now, as we look at the $3 million price range and over, we are at a 14.95, almost a 15-month supply of inventory. This time last year, we had a 10.9 month supply of inventory. I think part of that was because interest rates hadn't fully peaked yet this time last year. And as we went into the summer months, that's when they really peaked, and we're still coming off of that. So you are still in a buyer's market. However, the eagle has landed, for lack of a better term, and our buyers are here. So if you're in this price range, you really should be paying close attention to whether or not your home is priced aggressively and marketed to take advantage of all the people that are here right now shopping for homes. If you're wondering what your home would sell for in today's market, or if you're wondering what it would look like for you to try to purchase a home here in Scottsdale, go ahead and give me a call at 480-717-9405. Visit my website at dustimartinrealtor.com.